What's happening, guys? Scott at Love for Crypto. I hope you can hear me. Canada is watching. Canada is hodling. How we doing, guys? I'm getting a little bit excited about the BABB app and the black card, and it all potentially coming out. Don't want to be hearing that, do I? Yeah, so I'm getting excited. I'm just going to start off with the black card at first. It's not your typical credit and debit card where it's going to have chip and pin. It's moving forward with technology. You not sure what it's like in other countries, but in England, the banks are disappearing. ATMs and cash machines are just disappearing, and there's limited places where we can get cash now. So it's becoming more difficult, and this has got quite a few decent little ideas on how to move forward. Now it's fully compliant with the current way of banking, with SEPA payments and international bank account numbers, stuff like that. So it's extremely exciting moving forward, knowing that it's good to go with the current system, but it's also ready to help implement CBDCs moving forward. So without further ado, I'll get cracking. We'll start with the BABB Black card. I'm excited about this, guys. I really am. I might not seem it in the tone of voice at times, but I really am. The BABB Black card is a secure payment card that links directly to your BABB bank account. It's via QR code or NFC, near field connection technology, like what happens to your phone with contactless payment on the phone. It allows both a debit-like functionality, or it can be issued as a prepaid card for your friends and family. This approach allowed us to design a simple yet elegant card with no need for a chip and pin. It's the future. The chip and pin's only just coming about, and it's about to go out the window. Just a dad, yeah, mate. My hair's got long. Do you know what? I'm not cutting it until I cash some backs out. Legitimately, when I cash out and I buy my house and I get a card and that, I'm cutting it. Maurice, what's happening? Right, with the BABB Black card, you'll be able to spend your funds within your BABB bank account in shops, in person, peer to peer. That's a big thing for me. You have to be able to spend it in shops. Retailers can accept payment using the BABB card simply by downloading the BABB app and scanning the QR code. So can you imagine in the future, if like there could just be people in shops with a phone in their hand or a tablet, like it's getting anyway, and you just near field connection your card to it and you've paid, boom, you're out the door. Getting quite good. Did they download the app, they scan the QR code or via NFC payment, it's made instantly into the retailer's bank account and the funds can be used by them immediately. It's really exciting. So you've got NFC tag embedded, activate or deactivate the card anytime you want, and it's identifiable by serial number and barcode. The tech inside it is near field connection, QR code with a secure blockchain private key and open API. The BABB Black card is the first of its kind, containing no personal information on the card itself, which greatly improves card security. Like there's no details on it except for that private key, which then unlocks you know what. If the card is lost, it can be easily unlinked from your bank account, preventing anyone else from using it. Should you find your card again, you simply scan the QR code on the card via your BABB app and boom, it's back linked to your bank account once again. Superb. If the card's lost permanently, new cards will be available very cheaply from certain major online retailers with next day delivery. Alternatively, you can pick a spare up from a friend, or even print a less durable but equally functional paper version of the card. A lot of people shun the nose at paper wallets. I'm not sure why. It's no different. You can have a ledger all you want. You lose that ledger, you might as well have had a paper wallet. Sorry, but if it's in a vault, you know what I mean? Bullish on BABB, Maurice. I am extremely bullish on this project, mate. People just don't understand. I've explained it from day one as XRP tackling the top of the pyramid with the current central banks and stuff. BABB are tackling the bottom of the same pyramid with the people. But you'll see in a minute, they're still working with banks, they're working with regulators, they're still prepared to help banks transition into the digital age to tokenize their fiat currencies. So why have BABB decided not to use traditional card systems and create a new decentralized card with no chip? Like it says, the ATMs and stuff, but opportunity. According to World Bank statistics, only 2% of people in developing economies have a credit card and only 15% have access to a debit card. This presents a huge opportunity to introduce a simple, cheap, and more efficient payment card with increased security and accessibility for the underbanked. Again, like you might like the accessibility to cards is one thing. Accessibility to an actual ATM or somewhere to use that card is something completely different. Card processing services, millions of SMEs, like small, medium businesses across the world, struggle to get card machines from the banks, as it can often be hard for them to qualify for a card payment facility. This forces them to operate in cash, which introduces a significant personal risk from holding large amounts of cash. Not ideal in developing countries, it really, really isn't. But we have smartphone penetration. Over half the world now have a smartphone. Downloading the BABB app to process card payments with the black card using the QR code is cheaper, faster, and more convenient than integrating with traditional card payment solutions such as Visa or MasterCard. Visa got shut off the other day. Well, the other week. Let's not even go into that. But it's no big deal even with a banking license. Mate, why are you so bullish on BABB? UK already has a mobile e-cash bank called Monzo. E-cash, is e-cash crypto? First question right there, is Monzo a blockchain bank account? Do they have a UK bank license? You're saying it's no big deal even with a banking license, but a UK banking license is the most prestigious banking license globally, mate. You will not find a more respected banking license than that globally. Don't tell me Monzo got it, I don't know. But they're working with the Bank of England, the FSC, all financial regulators. They're working with Bank to Bahrain. It's a massive project, mate, and it's got massive potential. That's why I'm so bullish on it. ATMs are being phased out with the introduction of NFC technology and the trend towards cashless economy. There is less need for a card with a chip to access cash from ATMs. Cost of using cards can be as high as 5 to 6% at times. Accessing funds. Retailers who accept a payment with the BABB Black Card can receive the funds in their BABB bank account instantly. That don't happen with some services, mate. It just doesn't. You get pending payments. I get pending payments at Tesco when I use my Visa card. Like, it's not instant. Traditional card issuers have a very low penetration rate across developing countries. See the graphic below. Due to the above reasons, this presents a great opportunity for the BABB Black Card introducing the following key benefits over traditional card issuers. So taking that into taking that into consideration that the UK already has a mobile e-cash bank called Monzo. Okay, yeah, the UK has that bank. What do they have? There's 2.5 billion people there that don't have e-cash services, that don't have any of the simplest financial services. How can you not be bullish on that? It's a $350 billion industry right there, ready to be tackled, basically being ignored by most of the world. That is the economic potential of the BABB app and card. Easy to distribute, no scheme, affordable and secure. These are all the reasons I'm bullish on it. So do you know if BABB is going to be doing any talks with Verifone, which is the biggest POS terminal company there is? That shit is everywhere. Do you know what? Just a dad, I think it's a little bit like Ripple, mate. You'll see in a minute where it's like they've got, I think it's the SMS chatbot to assist in the app. But they've got who's going to run that, but I think it's confidential at the moment. So it does my head in now. As done with Ripple for months, mate. The fact that they know that they're working with someone and they can't tell us yet, it is a bit annoying. Again, yeah. Do you know how many people in the world can't get a bank account? That's what a lot of people are missing. Just a dad, mate. It's all right for us who's in countries where there's banks all over the place, but even like I've said, our banks are disappearing. We've only got one local branch in my town now that we can visit and actually step foot in. I don't actually bank with them. To put that into perspective, just a few years ago, we had Bank of Scotland, NatWest, TSB, we had a Midland Bank, we had Yorkshire Building Society, and we had a Halifax. We had over 6 banks in Drawsden at one point, and now we've got one. We had multiple ATMs in Drawsden Town Centre, now we've got 2. And a little bit further down the road at Tesco, there's 2. But it's all disappearing. It's all disappearing. Scanlink, XRP, mate, XRP all the way. But like to say that's the banker's coin. Consider BABB, XRP for the people, for the underbanked, for the people who feel like you're just at the bottom of the ladder and you're desperate to climb it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel. I feel like it's for me as well as the people who are not banked. I really do. But we'll move on a little bit now. The black card looks like it's going to be good, but central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, that term's going to become a lot more wide known very soon. A lot more people is going to be mentioning that. At BABB, we believe it's inevitable that central bank digital currency, CBDC, will be adopted by central banks over the next decade. This opinion was initially formed in 2015 based on our assessment of the overall social benefits of the microeconomy. You can read the full analysis in Appendix 3. In the second half of 2017, we have seen further validation of this thesis with a slew of announcements by central banks all around the world, each considering launching their own digital currency. For instance, the Reserve Bank of India's Research Institute has recently argued that blockchain technology could provide the necessary basis for the digitization of the Indian rupee. Chris was on WhatsApp, Indian rupee just then. Apparently it's just crashed, plummeted, all the like record lows. But I've not been able to have a look at that yet. But yeah, that's what I meant then, Chris. I was having a little dabble of that. So there's already calls in India to tokenize our fiat currencies. We believe CBDCs are essential in establishing improved payment networks at a local level, thereby stimulating microeconomies. Our focus on working with central banks and supporting additional digital currencies is in alignment with our goal of deep financial, economic, and social inclusion. We will help support grassroots initiatives and stimulate microeconomies while at the same time improving cross-border and foreign exchange for these currencies via the BAX token. BABB will look to work with central banks in primarily 2 ways. They're going to help with the integration of any existing CBDCs. That is extremely interesting thing to say at the time this white paper would have been written. Central banks that have already launched their digital currency could benefit from BABB's inter-blockchain approach. Ooh, nice way of saying inter-ledger, interoperability. So it's consensus. It's good. I struggle to understand why people's going to ask me why I'm bullish on this when like are you listening? Like, you're not listening to what like. Just have a little look into it, research it for yourself, have a little dig. The website's great. If you want to have a fly over to that, there's loads of information on it. This is just a white paper. It should be linked in the description, as should the media blogs. Just fly through all the blogs. That's a product team dive, August edition, talking about this app. Little Q&A with Anna, talking to Ricardo about the app. But any existing CBDCs, they're using an inter-blockchain approach and provide for a natural extension of BABB, allowing us to quickly onboard those currencies. This may be executed by entering agreements directly with such central banks, or by establishing partnerships with local banks, which would provide regulatory coverage for their jurisdiction and associated currency. And then there's the issuance of new CBDCs on top of that. Central banks looking to launch their own digital currency can leverage BABB's technology and host and operate domestic portion of the federated network. Now, we understand that they're all leveraged, a lot of them are already leveraging Ripple's technology and the Ripple ledger to facilitate cross-border payments. That's the institutions doing it between each other at the moment and creating pathways for us. Again, top of the pyramid stuff. This is just another layer basically. I always say to everyone thinks there's just going to be one bridge asset that does it. There isn't. We're in the UK. There isn't just Sky TV. There's Sky and Virgin and BT. There's never just one, is there? There's not just one company that dominates every industry. There isn't just one oil company. There isn't just one electric company. There isn't just one gas company. There isn't just one real estate place where you go to buy houses. There's competition, and it's healthy competition. Hasn't been that way all the time, but I know that the electric in England used to all be controlled by Norweb. They got it all. Norweb. But then there was no competition, and they just took the piss, so to speak. So they created competition, and now you've got British Gas, Scottish Equitable, Boom, Bish, Bash, BP, you name it. You've got loads now all competing. It's all coming from the same place, down the same pipes, and you can just switch like that and get a different price. It's crazy. There's no difference in the central currencies where we're going to be able to send XRP down one route, or you can send BAX down another route, or you can go to some other guy and get some cash off here. It's all just payment pathways, innit? Madness, all about to blow up, and we can speculate and do that all day, but just want to read what's actually been told by him for now. So this takes into these are taking into consideration local jurisdictions and the complexity of these existing policies and systems. The subnetwork essentially becomes a part of BABB's global platform, allowing central banks to ensure security, regulations, and economic control, while at the same time providing their citizens with the opportunity to transact not just locally on the central bank's local system, but also internationally on any currency supported by BABB. Any currency. I've heard that in XRP ledger as well. Interoperability, that's what it is. BABB are pushing consensus, they're pushing interoperability, they're working with central banks, and people questioning why I'm bullish on it. Do you know what I mean? I had a chat with Maurice the other day, and he seemed a little bit surprised and unsure about what the term CBDC was. So this is the main reason why I want to do this video again. The app said to drop in November. It's round the corner. Do you know what I mean? It's close. In essence, they can provide central banks with the mechanisms and infrastructure to integrate or issue their digital currencies, as well as the products for their customer population to interact with this currency in multiple ways. Finally, data collected by central banks from the platform will provide the insight needed to manage and regulate such a system for themselves efficiently and effectively. They're there working with them now. They're having meetings, FSCs galore, and that it's crazy. Just have a little look at what he's wrote there. A lot of potential. I believe it's worth the risk. It is. No competition. Control we try to get away from. That invisible slave. XRPs, you know, ton of people over here in the United States that can't get a bank account, that resort to all these high transaction cards, like the green dot card, the rush card, Maurice, mate. A lot of people, they just get stuff forced on them, don't they? Because they can't get access to certain financial services. some financial services that, quite frankly, a lot of people take for granted. First world problems, man. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? Some people just don't seem to see it as well as others do, should I say. So we've got so many mates that are just still oblivious to how big some of this is actually going to be. It's beyond me. They've now gone into example stage for the app inside the white paper, just to give you a couple of scenarios in how it could be used, how it will be used, how you yourself will use it. So the first one that's quite good, we talk about the phasing out of ATMs and ATMs actually disappearing in the end. Well, what if you didn't need an ATM? What if you just needed a person around the corner who had cash in his pocket, you didn't, you wanted his cash, and he was willing to swap it for the few BAX or the few XRP, or you just send him GBP straight through your phone? You don't need an ATM then, do you? What if the corner shop runs the BABB app? You want some cash back? Want some crypto back? It'd be a thing, innit? Yo, do you do crypto back, mate? You said that in Tesco now, they'd be like, what are you on about, son? You know what I mean? Go with Tesco in 10 years and say, do you do crypto back on the BABB card? And let's see what happens, because I think they will. So the BABB app is designed to solve defined problems and address specific use cases which guide our product and design process. A peer-to-peer cash. BABB enables users to withdraw and deposit cash from their account by engaging with other users or agents. Also, the app makes it easy to exchange and withdraw the currency that is different from the one currently being held in a BABB account. BABB users do not need to depend on proximity to an ATM, whether it's functioning or whether it's on their card. That should say, or whether it's even got cash, not whether it's on their network. But sometimes you get to an ATM, it's not even got cash in it, or it's got no tenors and you wanted 50 quid. But they also don't need to adjust to the bank's working hours and fees. All they will need to do is choose a local person or business they will prefer to deal with. It is as simple as that. Then they go and meet them. Example, Eden lives in Ethiopia, or Eden lives in Ethiopia, where her family owns a crop farm. She earns a very small wage from the farm and employs 5 workers. As Eden often struggles financially, she receives £300 per month in her BABB account from her son, who works in a small coffee shop in London. Eden is expected to pay her staff in cash and opens her BABB app to find a local BABB user who can help. She finds a vegetable stand in her local village who is willing to exchange an electronic payment for physical cash, in turn receiving a small fee. They agree to meet at the store to complete the transaction, and Eden receives the Ethiopian birr in cash. She can then go and pay her employees in cash. Everyone KYC'd, so everyone in the little graph there would be KYC'd. Perfectly safe to meet them, in my opinion. I don't see why anyone's going to go on the app and say, yeah, I'll meet you. I'll tell you I'm going to meet you, and then I'm going to rob you. You just know exactly who did it, where they did it, when they did it. You're on a map, man. Do you know what I mean? GPS. You're not going to be able to do things like that. Or if they do, they're getting caught for it. It's as simple as that. And you'd probably go to an establishment at first, and there's probably going to be some, I'd imagine an eBay kind of, you can trust this guy to meet him for cash kind of thing popping up. Just a dad, yeah, you won't be at Tesco in 10 years. You ain't going in saying you do cash back, you're saying you do crypto back. I'm telling you now, it will. But let's move on to the next little bit. I don't really want to delve into questions too much because it'll end up quite long, where I legitimately just wanted to read through it for you, just to highlight some of the aspects of the coming app and card. I feel like not a lot of people know it's only around the corner. So peer-to-peer borrowing. I've heard about the XRP ledger and possible borrowing on there, and boom, here's another kind of crypto borrowing that's going to be possible. Through the BABB app, users can lend they can lend to, borrow from one another. It's not just going to be a shop that's going to lend you money. You could legitimately just get it off your mother. Payment terms and rates are clearly defined, agreed on, and fast to conclude. So there's going to be smart contracts governing these loans. Definitely. Pablo runs a fruit stand at a local market in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's been a difficult month for his business. The increased rain has resulted in a drop in customer numbers. He's looking for a small loan to help restock his stand in the following weeks. And so he sets up a loan request in the app. Pablo requests 1,000 for 1 month and sends his request only to his friends and family. The app automatically calculates the payments and sets up the smart contract. There you go, boom. Oh, Lewis, his cousin living in, I can't say that, mate. I'm a man. Curitiba, don't know, but that's where he lives. He receives a loan request off his BABB app. He's having had his own business himself. He sympathises and decides he's going to cover the full loan, bruh. He's like, yo, cuz, I got you back. Full loan, G. So his funds are transferred instantly into Pablo's account. He can now restock the stand. But yeah, that's good. It's good in my eyes, that. I mean, I suppose if he then didn't pay back, the smart contract on that app's just going to sting him somewhat rotten, and he's just going to end up not being able to use it, is it? It's going to take some of his funds as and when it needs them, as and when it's agreed upon. So they'll make the necessary arrangements in that smart contract of when the payments will come out from his app. If he starts not having the money there, it's only going to end badly for him, innit? Don't borrow. Don't borrow. Don't do it. So peer-to-peer fundraising is an interesting one. Very interesting. They're going to provide tools for international and local fundraising where anyone can raise funds using 3 types of mechanisms. Private is only by innovation. Personal is broadcasting to friends and family, and public is for anyone to start global fundraising campaign, particularly for purposes like disaster relief and community infrastructure projects, but also for personal projects and causes. People want to donate, don't they? No matter what it's for. A few advantages of BABB fundraising. So, I'm not as interested in fundraising as I am as peer-to-peer transactions and borrowing, must admit. But it's there if you want to read it. We've got a little example. Payments and payroll. The BABB banking platform can be used to create a more direct payment flow that connects payers and payees across borders or domestically without intermediaries at ultra low fees and almost instant speeds. An example, companies can easily automate payroll processing, instantly distributing funds from their BABB bank account to their employees. So Maruf is the managing director of a small factory in Dakar. You couldn't have used flaming York and Manchester and Liverpool, UK. You couldn't have used stuff easy for me to say. Dakar, is that Dakar silent H? If it works in a small factory in Dakar, that's just going to show that I've got bad English and Bangladeshi geography. Sorry. He lives in Dakar, Bangladesh. Idiot. Everyone knows that. He's previously outsourced payroll processing to an external provider. This was not ideal. It was expensive, and it meant he didn't have control over changes to his employees' salary and bonus payments. But Maruf now uses BABB to pay his 24 employees, thereby incurring one less expense and retaining greater control. With a few taps, he sets up a recurring payment in the BABB app. Each month, Maruf reviews and authorises employee payments, who now receive their wages directly into their BABB bank account. That's nice and convenient for them, innit? Hey. As our app improves, we plan to tackle more detailed use cases and encode them into the smart contracts. For instance, deductions in pension, income tax, and other contributions could also be automated. Goes more into the technology and how the blockchain's really going to work now, but I just want to get on this before I leave this. We have a little chat and a wind down for the end of the video. Tokenizing fiat funds is going to be massive in the next 10 years. as we said, as just the dads just said, then cash is going out the window. We've got China, South Korea, and I'd imagine a lot of other places on the brink of being cashless. The drug dealers better get PayPal or something because it's not looking good for them. Really, really isn't. So, do you think BAX can reach 10 cents in 5 years' time? Or have the Traveller? The Traveller, but 10 cents, mate. I think it can reach 10 cents by next year. Never mind 10 years, mate. I think we'll see 10 cents next year. I really do. Are you smoking pot coins? I just come up with $5. BABB doesn't even have their own blockchain. BABB's in the process of developing the blockchain at the moment. If you want to come over to Medium, this is talking about the app and how the app's actually going to work. And if you just go to the main page, there's a hell of a lot of information on here. Anything from the banking license to the equity sale to the product. Yeah, you can come to the white paper and look at the blockchain and the technology. It's they're building a consensus-based blockchain. So if you're bullish on Ripple and XRP and their blockchain, BABB's is going to be very similar. It's going to be consensus-based, governed by smart contracts. It's interoperable, works with other blockchains. That's why we're bullish. There's 50 billion BAX. A lot will be held. A lot won't be in the system. I know I've got a nice little chunk of them that I won't be putting anywhere for a while. A $350 billion industry just in the Middle East and North Africa. That's without the likes of me even using it. People want to speculate to XRP. Anyone, I think XRP can hit between $1,000 each and $10,000 each over the next 10 years. Very easy, and I mean very easy. And I also think as that's getting there, there's no reason we couldn't see BAX at $10, mate. I really don't. I hope you're right. I'm gonna sink another 20 grand into this project. Maybe not 20 grand, mate. That's a bit harsh. Do you know what I mean? If you got 20 grand to throw into it, go for it, mate. I wish I had that much to throw in, but I really do, mate. I think it can hit $10. I do. I agree with Marie said. Never mind $5, mate. It's a 10 to 5. That's a long term. I think we're going to see it at $1 to $2 in the next 3 years. Personally, beyond that, I don't know. XRP, we're probably going to see it $100 to $500 in the next 3 years. Beyond that, I don't know. Could be $1,000, could be 10 grand. I don't know. 10 years time, I don't think any of us knows. I don't think any of us believe what Facebook could be worth. Anyone really knew what Apple would end up worth, did they? No one can really speculate when you're talking about a new technology that when truly adopted, man, it's gonna blow in it. Let's have it right. Let's have it right. A minute people, a minute amount of people are in this space at the moment. You consider 7 billion people on the planet. This day and age, there's 7 billion people on the planet, and two and a half billion of them can't even get a bank. They're dying for this, begging for it, mate. Desperate for it. For me, I'm just thinking, yeah, this makes my life a little bit easier, and hopefully I can make a little bit of money off the BAX. Do you know what I mean? This is absolutely, completely, and undeniably life-changing for about 30% of the planet. That's the be-all and end-all of it, in my opinion. Like, take that to the bank and ask them how much they think that is, mate. And they'll say about 350 billion for the MENA region. But anyway, the SEPA payment currently, and the Nostra Vostra bullshit and all the takes 5 days. It's this is the blockchain they're building is fully compliant with that. And it's also fully compliant with the way XRP is doing stuff now and in the future. There's still some people today that when they put money on Coinbase, they have to wait 3 to 5 days for it to hit it. So they're still doing that today. That them payments are still being used. There's still businesses sharing international bank account numbers. So you're getting all that with your bank account, and it's ready to go, boom, straight away. The difference then is through that app, you can put £100 on it and receive £100 worth of BAX. Yeah, and have £100 in the bank account. You can, as far as I'm aware, you can either keep your £100 in your bank account, yeah, distribute that here, there, and everywhere, swap it for BAX. If you swap it for BAX, you've bought BAX off BABB in a way there. 2nd November 2018 at launch. 2019 second phase of token sale will be within the app. People's been speaking about this. Expect that token sale to be within the app. So as you're purchasing the tokens within the app, that money gets locked in then into a BABB fiat reserve. That BABB fiat reserve can then just be held there. It can be transferred into the central bank to be turned into a central bank digital currency, and you can get digital pounds back into the system. Can be kept there until you need to send a separate payment to a business across the way because they won't accept anything else yet. Fully compliant with today's payments while also ready for the future. It's struggling to find the words for it. It's just a great project in my opinion. XRP's 200 partnership. The network effect is massive. That's the difference. It's funny you should mention the network effect, the traveler, because if we go to the technology, in fact, let's go on. CBDCs, central bank issued digital currencies. Multi-jurisdictional. Through the BABB app, central banks will leverage BABB's technology to host and operate a portion of the federated network domestically. This segmentation takes local jurisdiction into consideration and allows the complexity of existing official and monetary policies. Subnetwork essentially becomes part of the BABB network. I mentioned that in a white paper. Economic stability. With CBDC, central banks are able to replicate the many useful innovative aspects of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, while removing many of the destabilizing elements. The value for central bank digital currencies will not fluctuate since they have been pegged to their national fiat currency and controlling incentivize their use as a medium of exchange. Regulatory friendly, like we say, working with FSC and our regulatory framework to make sure it's all compliant. Borderless payments, digital IDs, trustworthy. What did you say a minute ago? The network effect is massive. Yeah, I agree with that. It is, isn't it? And inviting friends to join the BABB community helps spread the word and promote growth of the network. As the network grows, BABB gets better for everyone. They've got their own little network effect, mate. It's not just rippling through, excuse the pun, rippling through central bank with their digital currencies. It ripples through their platform as well. As more nodes are added through devices, more devices join the network, more nodes added, more companies make nodes. It's going to be massive, I think. I've got no doubts. Maybe I should have, but I just haven't. Let's get to page 19. So BABB's technology, as explained in the white paper, very vaguely, I'm not going all the way into it. The blockchain is a secure transaction ledger database. It's shared by all entities participating in an established distributed network of computers. It records and stores transactions of information between entities within the network, essentially eliminating the need for trusted centralized third parties. This information can be digital currency, identity data, or any other type of structured data, or nothing we don't know already. BABB relies on a blockchain for many of its core services, which makes it a fundamental piece of technology. It serves multiple purposes, not just recording transactions, but also notarizing identity data and serving as a secure channel for sharing data across different participants in the network. Not sure if you're fucking can't talk today. Not sure if you're aware, but they filed a patent recently. So anyone on the BABB network and anyone with a BABB account actually owns their own data. They own their own data, they own their own funds, they control their own data, they control their own funds. Don't get me wrong, all them cookie accepts, you're still going to have to do that and sacrifice that data. But in the future, when you're walking past the shop, you might be asked for some information. And if the shop's going to have to pay you off for that bit of information if it wants it, basically. Whereas on the websites, you're always going to get asked to just do, hardly anyone's ever going to read the small print. Let's have it right. No one's going to sit there for half an hour to read the small print when all you're doing is sending your mate a message on WhatsApp. You're like, I just want to send my mate a picture on a WhatsApp. I want to sit there for 20 minutes. Just get access to my phone, get access to my mic, access to my camera, access to my gallery, access to everything. Just send the flaming message. That's what we're like. But the federated network on the blockchain, the federated blockchain as they're calling it, the validation of blockchain activity using standard blockchain consensus schemes with a federated blockchain of validating nodes. Sounds familiar, that to me. Participation in the network. Initial nodes are managed by BABB, as initial nodes were managed by Ripple on the Ripple network. And now I've lost where I was. So the initial nodes are managed by BABB, with major participants also running their own nodes, including central banks and regulators in specific jurisdictions. This ensures collective oversight and transparency, while at the same time allowing for multi-jurisdictional activity to take place. For me, this is just rolling a red carpet out for central banks to walk into the digital age. I don't know how anyone else sees it. Yeah, mate, BABB is not going as high as XRP. Never for 1 minute is BABB going as high as XRP. I will be shocked if I ever see one BAX worth more than one XRP. Even though there's only half the amount of BAX as there is XRP, there's double the amount of XRP. But it's going to do a few more jobs in it. Let's have it right. I mean, we can talk about the global reserve currencies. It will be the major bridge. BAX is going to be a bridge asset. There's no mistake in that. You're going to be able to use it as a bridge asset. But yeah, I've got to agree. XRP is going to be top dog when it comes to a bridge asset between foreign exchanging and foreign currencies, cross-border payments, anything like that, remittance. It will be top dog. Doesn't mean this won't be used as well. That's all I want to say. As I've said, there's no way XRP is going to be the only one. It just can't, in my head, just doesn't accept that there's only one in a certain industry. There will be multiple ones. I just think BABB won't be the last to do this. I fully expect an American company to come out with their own version of this with a US banking license. I expect that. BABB aren't even tackling the US yet because of the accredited investor problem that people tend to come across when selling to Americans. Bullish, me, at the end of the day. I'm bullish. Don't know what you guys think, but the smart contracts and regulations, I'll go a little bit further on this now here. We'll just read this. The rules of operating BABB accounts will be encoded into smart contracts, transfers of funds, management of data privacy, etc. In addition, we will also comply with the rules defined by central banks for the funds they control, which will also be encoded into smart contracts on the blockchain for their specific currency. With it being early days and there not being that much information here, and they're like Ripple, they don't come out talking about partnerships and that too much. It's hard for someone to come out and be like, yeah, but look, this is what it's going to be like. This is what it's going to do. Can you not see it? I mean, imagine people who had belief in Ripple 3 years ago while they was trying to explain it to people with absolutely no information there, no IMF talking about it, yeah, no SBI on the verge, no X-Rapid about to go live. Imagine trying to convey how much belief you've got in that project back then. That's how I feel with BABB now. I'm trying to just, feels massive to me. I don't know whether it's just because I'm in the UK and they're going for the UK bank account. It's going to be the first blockchain-based bank on. I don't know. I don't know. I just love it. Love it. And I'm extremely bullish. Yeah, the Fed got big plans for XRP, mates. There's no way this is gonna keep up with XRP. But what plans have Bank of England got for their CBDC? Where are they gonna first introduce it to the masses? If in a few years' time you've got half of Britain using this BABB app, does it not make sense for them to just start filtering the CBDCs of Great British pounds through that app, considering that BABB will already have the reserve of the pounds reserve? There's a lot to read here in this white paper, guys, and I suggest if you are interested in it, you have a little look at it yourself, because it's very, very interesting. Let me just nip in this. Where's he gone? Where's the product team? They sent something off on the 17th regarding the app. Seems like it's been busy, very productive time for your team. Yeah, the team has been working super hard. We made a lot of really good progress. To summarise quickly for you, our main activities recently have been finalising the user experience and the visual design of the customer side of the app, researching to inform the merchant side, account app and acquisition strategy, getting ready to hand over the designs on that side to Kiev the 17th of August, putting in place our toolkit and systems. It's all being put in place now, and they're talking to merchants as well, which just shows that they're pushing it into shops. They want Tesco to download this API and let me spend in Tesco on my BABB card. They want Amazon to accept BAX. They want Amazon to accept your QR code, and maybe you just show it, you just scan it with your phone, or they want them to accept it. Corner shops, pie shops, you name it, download this API. I can spend with my black card. That's me happy. I mean, it's not a bad idea to hold a few BABB for the future at all, mate. It really, really isn't a bad idea. They're extremely cheap at the moment, and they've got an extremely good project on the go. They've got the okay to apply for some banking licenses, and they're flowing. They're talking with the FSC, making sure they meet all regulation. There is absolutely no reason they should not become the first bank based on a blockchain, solely on blockchain, a bank account based blockchain. It's what the name stands for. Yeah, BABB, bank account based on blockchain. There are no others, as far as I'm aware. So they've been working on the design of the release of one of the customer side of the app for several months. It's now ready to hand over to the developers. So the customer side is in development now. It's been handed over. They're working to release it very soon. We've tested it extensively with Darren handling final testing this week. We've now nailed down all the details, including copy, blah, blah. Right, here we go. Here it is now, a little bit of the proof, so to speak, that it's like that. User testing was very informative, and we've made several refinements based on the feedback we gathered. For example, we're implementing SMS validation as part of the sign-up process to heighten security without interfering with ease of use. Finally, we've been mapping the requirements, blah, blah, blah. And then when we come down about said, I ain't going to be able to find this now, am I? So they've been meeting different suppliers recently, testing APIs and going through documentation in order to choose the best one to provide the different services. For example, the SMS verification provider is confirmed but confidential. What a flaming surprise, eh? What a flaming surprise. Really, Kurt? Really? Fucking child. So on that note, I'm coming off. Yeah. I'm extremely bullish on this. I don't know whether you guys are, but yeah, I'm gone now. Safe. Well done. I'll speak to you again, guys, but I'm not staying on to childish shit. Sorry. See you later.